Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and I haven't posted in quite some time, but I do have some important updates with the car market. Now, I do want to mention at the intro of this video is going to be a little bit more political, so if you don't want to watch any sort of car content that has to do with politics, just skip this video and then watch the next one that, well, won't contain what we're talking about in today's video. But anyways, with that being said, let's just jump right into it. The election is now in the rearview mirror, and Donald Trump is going to be the next president. Now, I'm actually not going to be discussing any of Donald Trump's policies. The reason why I'm not going to be discussing those policies is, well, none of them have happened yet. He is not, in fact, the president yet, right? We have to wait for Inauguration Day. But on top of that, Trump's first presidency was a lot different than what people expected, right? He said he was going to do a bunch of things, and he did do some of those things, but there's a lot of things that he didn't do. And so I'm one of those people that I'm just going to kind of wait and see what happens when it comes to his policy during his presidency. Like, what will he actually do, right, versus what he said he's going to do. And like I said, nothing's been implemented yet. What I do think is very important to mention, though, is buyer sentiment when it relates to the election. So leading up to the election, buyer sentiment was extremely negative. People were not positive on the economy. Again, you look at all the surveys, and most people said that the economy is not in a great position, right? And then on top of that, they said that they felt like cars were too expensive and they weren't planning on buying anything anytime soon. And that also applied to houses. Again, cars and houses are the two most expensive things that most people will ever purchase in their lifetimes. Well, post-election, and sentiment has completely changed. And I think that this post-election economy really shows just how powerful sentiment is. It is not necessarily the most powerful thing in the country, but it is as powerful as a lot of policies that could be implemented. What I am seeing is people are buying cars like crazy. Again, election day happened. It was announced that Trump was in the lead, and then, the Associated Press called Trump as the winner, and it was just like, boom, light switch flipped. The car market went from being depressed to, I wouldn't say that it's at all-time highs by any means, but car dealers are selling way more cars today than they had been selling just before the election. And it's not just customers that are more positive about things. Car dealers are also more positive about things. They feel like there is now going to just be a better situation in the car market overall, that they're hoping that more cars are going to be produced, that, some lower prices might come in that will allow them to sell more cars, right? It all comes down to the pricing of cars in terms of how many these car dealers are going to be able to sell. And so to just get to the gist of the whole situation, because people assume that things are going to get better economically, again, that's what the surveys suggest, they're spending as if things are going to get better economically, even though things objectively haven't changed whatsoever. Again, you look at the economy before the election and right after the election, and nothing changed. The only thing that changed was the sentiment. And so I'm actually really interested to see how long this lasts. And, how long this lasts will be determined by how positive people stay, because again, sentiment is very powerful when it comes to moving markets, and then also the policy that ends up actually getting implemented and how that actually affects the economy in the real world. So I'm really interested to just see how everything kind of shakes out. So I know this wasn't a super statistic heavy video, but I think it's an important update to note that the car market went from being in what I would call a recession, not quite a depression, to now it's relatively normal. Again, dealers are selling record numbers of cars on a week-to-week basis, at least around where I'm at. I still need to go dive into the national numbers a little bit more to see how those things are going. And so, I don't know. Like I said, I'm kind of interested to see what happens moving forward. Like, if interest rates do in fact continue to lower, which lowers, the car interest rates, and then on top of that, manufacturing does increase, so there's more cars available, so the prices go down. Like, this could be a recipe to have the car market be like what it was prior to the pandemic. Too soon to tell at this point. See ya.